G'day, it's Mark and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to get the P5 LTD picked up and send it over to Brian's to evaluate, to work out what needs to be done to bring the car back to its former glory. So loaded up the P5 LTD, which needs plenty of work, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run. I noticed that trim's actually scraping on the tyre there. That needs to be dealt with. Anyway, we're going to put a bit more gas in it just so Brian can move it around at his workshop while he's doing the work on it. There's Australia's finest car, or most distinguished motor car. I think that's what Ford said in its advertising, which was copying the Lincolns. The Mark III Lincoln said, I think, America's most distinguished motor car, something like that. Or automobile maybe, but I know they had distinguished in there somewhere, and I'm sure Ford's advertising agency, J. Walter Thompson, would have copied the Lincoln idea in terms of the descriptor for the car. So yeah, as I said, we're taking it over to Brian's to have the work done. Brian does great work, and but I'm going to put some gas in the car. LPG, it's running on that at the moment, just so yeah, it's got plenty of gas, just so if he has to move it around or whatever, it doesn't run out of gas while he's trying to do that. So we'll do that, and then Ross can be on his way. Really cool car. I've always wanted one of these. This is Apollo Blue, which is my favourite colour in this model. Favourite model LTD, favourite model Australian car. So check out the earlier 2 episodes on the car and just follow along. Also check out the playlist and subscribe, give it a like, all that kind of usual stuff. But yeah, subscribe so you don't miss out on a future episode or a future update to see the transformation of this car. I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to take, but Brian certainly doesn't muck around. He'll get stuck into it pretty quick, smart. Okay, so it's a few days later, and just heading over to Brian's to discuss just the next steps on the P5 LTD, 1974 LTD. Make sure you follow along in the playlist to see the various stages of progress. So, yep, heading over there, wearing my Mark V Lincoln t-shirt, and check out my Lincoln Mark V videos as well. It's my favourite car. But my favourite Australian car is the P5 LTD in Apollo Blue, which is exactly what this car is. So yeah, it's going to need a fair bit of work, but yeah, looking forward to just bringing it back to its former glory. So anyway, let's check it out. Okay, so the LTD's been dropped off to Brian, and he's got his Superman t-shirt on, and he's done a superhero effort on disassembling the car so far. So Brian, pretty immaculate example.
Well, you need to be Superman to work on this car in the first place. Let's say that. So it's going to be interesting to see what it comes back from the blasters. We've got to send it off and get a media blast to get it back to bare metal. Yeah. And see what's left.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rust repairs, a lot of body damage,
a lot
of everything. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Interesting to see what parts we can get today, because there's a lot of stuff you can't get anymore, or if you can get it, it's really expensive.
Yeah.
The vinyl top's a job on its own. That's a unique vinyl top with padding.
Which I have got someone to do the vinyl in terms of the cavalry twill and all that kind of stuff, which is the same material as the Lincoln Mark III and what was used originally on these cars.
The back window gets taken out on these cars. The vinyl top actually goes under the back window, and the moulding in the back window stays together, which is a bit unusual for most of this era.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hurdles to jump over.
Yeah.
Got to delete things like holes where the gas filler used to be.
Yes.
And just, yeah, plenty of rust and plenty of dents and plenty of paint on it. It's got lots and lots of paint on it.
Yeah, it's a big job.
It's a big job.
Brian did the work on my 68 Eldorado, which I haven't done an episode on, but I will do an episode on that. And when you saw that car, what it started like, and then the work Brian did, he did a fantastic job, and it was a transformation. And I'm hoping for something similar for this.
If we get it looking as good as a Cadillac, it'll be a major transformation.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I looked at that Cadillac and what you did there with some of those mud guards with the...
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
The hole, literally holes and would have been pulled out and whatever.
This is quite a bit rougher than the Cadillac. But,
yeah, that surprised me, because I thought maybe it was similar Similar.
I think the problem is it's had many repairs and they really haven't
Heavy-handed
had a lot of
bulk.
trouble with it.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of filler in it, so we just don't really know until
Yeah,
we get it all off.
until we get it blasted. It's got these big fat tyres on the back,
Yeah.
which are actually rubbing on the mud guard. Like it's literally touching there.
Yeah.
I've got to get some mouldings. There's quite a few parts. If anyone's got any P5 LTD parts that they don't need, let me know.
Go and cheap.
Put a message on the channel. And
Taillights.
yeah, particularly if you're in Victoria, but even if you're in another place and get them mailed.
Another planet.
Get them mailed, or my brother in Sydney can grab them or whatever. But certainly be keen.
It is a nice colour.
My favourite colour. Yeah, it's my favourite colour, Apollo. And it's got a Fairlane boot lid, which...
well, that's only the lettering. It's the moulding off the back missing. That's about the only difference.
So there's a moulding on the top, is there?
There's one that lines up, I think.
So I'm missing that, or I've got that?
No, missing it. I'm actually not 100% sure.
Okay, someone did mention there's a moulding on there. Yeah, I think someone mentioned that. Luckily the badge for the back was in the car, so that's... There's rusty here on this panel. It's got to be fixed. There's the taillights. I'm taking those with me, aren't I?
Yeah.
I'll try and do a repair on those.
Yeah. So,
right.
Anyway, we'll just see how things go as time goes.
Yeah, and you were saying at the front of these cars, it's quite common for these covers to crack or something. You're saying, because
I always remember them cracking.
Yeah, because Brian had a couple of these. He had a pale blue one, which was very unusual, and what was the other colour? This colour, wasn't it?
One of these, the same colour.
Yeah.
Alpine. This is called Alpine, isn't it? No,
Apollo.
Apollo.
Yeah, it's cracked there, so that's got to be
Same
fixed
on the
and
other
filled.
side.
So you're going to reinforce it from the back or something, is it?
We'll try and put a panel bond of some sort in the back of it.
Yeah, to strengthen
give
it.
Some strength.
Yeah.
And then
I've got a bonnet emblem for it. That's the least of my worries.
so there's even rust in the bonnet.
Should I put an aftermarket antenna in there and a generic electric aerial? Yeah. Okay. And you've taken the vinyl roof off. You're going to keep that as a template, or even though I know
until we get
the other one, just to double check it. Yeah. All right. Well, Brian, you're the man I'm entrusting to the job, and who I trust to do the job, because I think you do very good work. So, I wouldn't just give it to anybody, that's for sure. So
I appreciate that. Yep.
It'll be good. Obviously follow along. We're going to do some other updates and just see how we go. And I think the car's definitely worth doing. But I agree, it's a huge project, and 10, 20 years ago, you'd never have started with a car like this. You would have got a better car that was cheaper.
Buy all the sheet metal, replace the doors and go.
Yeah, and the parts were more available.
Then all you can do is concentrate on the 2/4 panels.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's not one panel that doesn't need quite a bit of work.
Although the cowl is pretty good, isn't it, inside?
Yeah, I think on the upside...
Looks pretty dry in there.
So
It's amazing, actually. It's
I do have had a rusty in. Well, it's a 50-year-old car, but as far as I can tell, there's no rust in there. So
yeah, which is amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing. One good thing it's got going for it.
All right, thanks, Brian. So, looking forward to seeing what Brian does with the P5 LTD. In terms of mentioned before, I'm looking out for some parts. So if anyone's out there that's got some parts that they don't need, there was someone on my channel who made a comment. I'd have to go back through the comments, who had one of the silver air cleaners. I definitely would like to get that. Also need some wheel arch mouldings. We're looking at doors, just whether we replace the doors or just fix the doors. But, if anyone has any really good rust-free doors out there, then that's something we'd certainly look at as well. I think they're the main things that we're probably chasing down at the moment. Brian mentioned the tail lights, but I'm going to try and repair those. I actually bought a tail light section. I know you can get reproduction ones, but they're ridiculously expensive. There's no way I'm going to spend that kind of money. So, yeah, like I say, if anyone out there's got any P5 LTD parts that they feel they can part with, pun intended, let me know on the channel, on the comments. But look, thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already, check out the previous episodes on the playlist for the P5 LTD. There's been 2 previous episodes so far, and please give the episode a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button as well. And subscribe so you don't miss a future episode. Plus, there's a whole lot of other pieces of content on the channel in terms of history episodes on the Ford Falcon. There's a whole history from XK right through FGX, the Holden Commodore, the Ford Fairlane, the Chrysler Valiant. plus a whole lot of other stuff as well on different cars and US cars, Australian cars and so on. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.